What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another Battlefield 2042 video. Now today's video is going to be a little bit different. It's just going to be a little bit of a ramble slash rant, because my opinion on Battlefield 2042 over the past week has changed. Now I made a video a week ago talking about the first 20 hours that I played of Battlefield 2042, and in that video I was pretty optimistic. I was pretty positive. I had a lot of good things to say about the game, and in my first 20 hours, that was my experience. I pretty much enjoyed Battlefield 2042. But now that I'm level 63 in the game and I have all the weapons unlocked and I've put in a lot of hours into Battlefield, at this point I have a little over 4 days put into Battlefield 2042. I have a total of like 103 to 104 hours put into Battlefield so far. Mainly just because, you know, this is my job and I've been making videos on it and playing it on stream and pretty much playing it around the clock. So I definitely have a different opinion on the game now that I've put in all this extra time. And in those first 20 hours when I made my first initial video, you know, I was still experiencing everything new. I was exploring the maps, I was exploring all the different weapons and the vehicles and all the different gadgets and stuff. And I was having fun. It was nice to sit down and play a Battlefield game again and just experiencing a little bit of nostalgia from playing, you know, Battlefield, which is one of my favorite first-person shooters ever. Ever since I got introduced to Battlefield back at Battlefield 4, I've just loved all the Battlefields. So, you know, I was excited, but after putting in all this extra time, back when I made my first initial video, I didn't really experience too many of the bugs and glitches, and I said that in my first initial video, is that I didn't notice too many glitches and stuff. But as you put in more and more hours, a lot of the bugs really start to come crawling out of the ground, and there are just so many bugs and glitches, and there's just tons of things that were just left out of this game or are completely unfinished. And, you know, something here or there isn't that big of a deal, but this game literally has missing so many features that was in previous Battlefield games, and it just, all these things add up to just be a not very good experience. And I've noticed a lot of people aren't really talking about this. If you go to the Battlefield 2042 subreddit, it's just nothing but people pointing out all these problems. But when it comes to other YouTubers, I've not seen too many other YouTubers bring up these issues. A lot of the EA game changers are kind of being quiet right now. They don't really have too much to say, and some people are starting to notice this. One of the only big channels I noticed as of recent to say anything was Angry Joe, who ripped this game a new one. And rightfully so. I mean, this game is just missing so much stuff. Like, some of it is so basic. Like, the squad system isn't the same as previous Battlefield games. There's no server browser, which is just so unbelievably weird and annoying. After every single match you play, you have to back out to the main menu and then start searching again for another match. That is so unbelievably annoying, because what it does is that it will put you in the same maps over and over and over. I've played the map Hourglass and Manifest hundreds of times compared to the other maps. Hourglass is the big map with the sand, and the beginning area when you spawn has that like football stadium that's covered in sand. I've played on that map a lot, and Manifest is the one that takes place in that shipping yard with all those shipping containers, and they have those big boats and stuff, and it's raining and it's dark. I've played on that one hundreds of times as well. And if there was a server browser, then, you know, I could just pick which maps I want to play on. I could look for servers that are half full or completely full. I could find a map that has a server that's closer to my region so that I can get better connection to it, so I can experience a little bit better performance. Not having a server browser is a really big deal for a Battlefield game, and now that we don't have one, I really realize that. And no scoreboard is... I cannot believe that they made this game without a scoreboard. I want to know what developers at DICE played this game and thought to themselves, we don't need a scoreboard. Like, that is such an essential thing to a Battlefield game. It is so important to just, you know, check on your KD or see how your team's doing, see how the enemy team's doing. It's just, it's mind-blowing that, like, all these things over time have been taken out, and they actually released this game at full price, and everyone that paid for early access paid extra, and we're getting so much less content than previous Battlefield games. And not to mention, there's only 2 game modes in the base game. You get Breakthrough or Conquest. And Conquest used to be my favorite mode in Battlefield, other than Rush. I really used to love Rush. But Conquest just feels like an empty, deserted, just wasteland. I can't play Conquest on Battlefield 2042 maps because they are so unbelievably massive in size. You're just running around aimlessly. When I'm playing Conquest, I find it easier and more fun to just redeploy. It's more fun to just kill myself and respawn somewhere else on the map than it is to run across the battlefield for like 10 minutes, and then when I finally get to the action, I get sniped or something. It's just not fun, so I've been having to play Breakthrough. The only mode I play now is Breakthrough because I want to play some Portal, but Portal has all the XP turned off because people were farming XP on day 1, so like it's been kind of pointless to play Portal if you want to level up. So I've just been playing nothing but Breakthrough, and Breakthrough in itself actually isn't too bad, but it's also unbelievably unbalanced. Now, 2 days ago, DICE had to change the reinforcement count because the attackers were losing pretty much 90% of the time. And some of the maps on Breakthrough are just pretty much impossible for the attackers to win because some of the objectives that you have to take are on top of skyscrapers or on top of buildings. So the opposing team will just put vehicles on top of the skyscraper and they'll camp the elevators and they'll shoot out anything that goes above them in the sky with their like 10 different vehicles they have and their anti-air launchers. So some of the objectives in Breakthrough are pretty much impossible for you to take as the attacking team. So the 2 only game modes that they have, Conquest is broken because the maps are too big. Breakthrough is broken because it's just unbalanced in favor of the defenders. They don't have any smaller modes like Team Deathmatch or Rush or anything like that. Some of the weapons in this game, there's only 22 weapons, but some of the weapons are completely useless. They have shotguns in this game, but what is the purpose of having shotguns if the maps are so huge? You don't get to use a shotgun that often. If you're playing Conquest, there's very few scenarios where a shotgun is going to get you more than a handful of kills because everyone's so spread out. I tried using a shotgun on Breakthrough, and unless everyone's funneling into one area or you're camping like an elevator or a building or something, you're not going to see much benefit from a shotgun because most of the time you're on a big open field or you're on top of a hill or a mountain or whatever the situation is. You're just not going to see much use of shotguns. And when it comes to sniping, we have the biggest maps in Battlefield history, and we can't even adjust the scope on the sniper rifles. So when you try to snipe in Battlefield 2042, it's just this game of hit and miss. Like you shoot, you miss your target, you have to aim a little bit higher, you shoot, you miss, you have to aim a little bit higher, you shoot, you miss, you aim a little bit lower. I don't know why. In all the previous Battlefield games, you could adjust your scope to the distance of what your target is. If someone's like 500 meters away and you can tell it's going to be a really long shot, you can adjust your scope for that, and then it makes it a little bit easier, and then you can actually hit your target. They got rid of that in this game. There's so many basic little features that's not in Battlefield 2042. The destruction, now that I've played this game for so long, I've noticed hardly any destruction whatsoever. You can blow up some fences, you can blow up some walls on occasion, and that's kind of it. There are so many sections of these maps where the buildings are indestructible. Like, what happened to the previous Battlefield games where you could drive a tank through a building and the whole building would collapse? That's some of the stuff that people loved about Battlefield. That's what made Battlefield unique. There's no like Levolution. There's nothing. The only instance of Levolution I've seen is on that Kaleidoscope map, and there's like this crane on top of one of the skyscrapers, and the crane can fall off of the building. And that's it. It does nothing really at all. It doesn't really change the environment. It happens really early on in the map. If you're playing Breakthrough, it happens like within the first however many minutes, because that's one of the first objectives that you take, and then you push forward, and then you don't see that crane anymore. So there's like no Levolution. I guess they got rid of the destruction and added tornadoes. Well, that doesn't make sense either, because tornadoes are supposed to be one of the most deadly things that we have in Mother Nature that absolutely demolish everything in their path, and they're responsible for millions and millions of dollars worth of damages every year to homes and vehicles and property. But in this game, the tornado does absolutely jack shit to the environment. It doesn't do anything. I haven't noticed it tear up trees or fences or walls. It doesn't do anything. It's just a tornado. It's just there. And it's just, you know, the more I play Battlefield 2042, the more I realize that this game just isn't what they promised. This isn't a Battlefield game. This game is having an identity crisis. Supposedly, this game has been in development for 3 years, and it has multiple development teams. They cut Battlefield 5 short so that they could work on this game. They ended support for Battlefront 2 so that they could work on this game. They have all these resources and all these developers pumped into this game for 3 years, and this game launches buggy and with less content and less features than any other Battlefield game we've had in years. I just don't understand. I can't fathom what these developers were doing for 3 years. How can you work on a game for 3 years with this much development staff and it have less stuff? I don't understand. And the performance is also abysmal. I've been playing on the Xbox Series X, and I've had matches where the frames will drop completely to 0. I've had really bad rubber banding issues. I've had a couple crashes. I had a crash during stream one time. It was so bad, my entire Series X turned off completely. And I've seen nothing but complaints from people on PC as well, so I can only imagine what this game performs like on the Xbox One and the PS4. Honestly, I could rant for hours about this game. Like, I didn't even talk about the weapons. The weapons are another huge issue. There's 22 weapons in Battlefield 2042, not including Portal and whatever. There's just 22 weapons in the base game. And only like 4 of them can actually hit the target when you aim at them. Like, did they even play test their own game? The weapons in this game can't even hit the targets that you aim at. It's ridiculous. I made a video yesterday talking about the top 5 weapons in Battlefield 2042, and all 5 of them are like ones that can actually hit their target. That's how pathetic that is. The top 5 weapons in the game are the only ones that can actually hit the target that you're aiming at. All the other ones just completely suck ass. I just don't understand how you can have a first-person shooter and it's been in development for 3 years, and nobody that play tested it, none of the developers noticed that, hey, when I shoot at my target, the bullets don't actually go where I'm aiming. It's just, oh my god. So now that I've put in over 4 days worth of time, like, don't get me wrong, I still love Battlefield. I love the franchise of Battlefield. Battlefield has some of my favorite moments in video game history. I enjoy making videos and I enjoy making content. And I've had some fun moments playing this game. When the game works, it's pretty fun. It's still lacking a lot of features. Like, I can enjoy the gameplay experience, but also have problems with it at the same time, which for some reason is like, some people can't fathom that. They think that you either have to be completely against it or you completely love it. There's no like in the middle. I'm in the middle. Like, I've had some fun moments. I've had some fun playing this game. Otherwise, I would just put it down and I wouldn't touch it again and move on to Halo or something, which, by the way, Halo's really fun. Go check it out if you haven't already, because it's a game that actually works. They launched that game and it's smooth as butter, and I've experienced like no bugs and glitches with Halo. But this game, I spent like $100 for it to play it early, and it feels like I'm playing an alpha. So I'm still going to continue to make videos, because from the fun that I have had, I mean, I want them to fix this game. I want this game to be good. I want them to add these features that the community wants. Add scoreboards and a server browser, and let my bullets go to my target when I aim at them. And if they added all these things that the community asked for, it would be a solid game. But it's just another example of, you know, you buy a game and then you have to wait 2 or 3 years of this live service bullshit just to finally get the game that you should have gotten at launch. I don't know why this is just the standard now. I don't know why it's gotten to this point, or how gamers in general have just accepted this as just our current reality. For some reason, any live service game just releases broken, and then the entire live service, which was supposed to be dedicated to DLC and additional content, instead of us getting additional content, they spend that entire live service time fixing the game, and then by the time the game's finally fixed, they give up on it and they move on to the next one. It's happened time and time and time again. So I don't see this one being any different. The game launches in this crappy state, and it's probably going to take a year or two before we finally see a game that actually feels like Battlefield. I think anytime a game launches like this, it needs to get the Cyberpunk treatment. I think it needs to be pulled from the stores, and it needs to be fixed. I think it's inexcusable for games to launch in such a buggy mess. So in closing, if I was to like recommend this game to you guys or whatever, I would say wait. Before, when people asked me, I told everyone that it was fun, and I would say that it was worth it because, you know, I didn't experience many problems. But now that I've experienced so many problems and it just doesn't feel like a complete game, I would wait maybe 6 months. I think that's a good time frame. 6 months, if the game looks a little bit better and has a lot of these core features that people want added, and they have a lot of bug fixes, yeah, it might be worth picking up. But definitely don't spend a dime over $60 on this game. Maybe wait till it's on sale or something, because I feel like anyone that spent a penny over $60 got robbed completely blind. I feel like we are lied to and we should be refunded. But that's just my opinion. And overall, it's just disappointing. I don't know. But I want Battlefield to feel like Battlefield. I don't want Battlefield to feel like I don't even know what they're trying to be. It's not like Call of Duty, because every Call of Duty I've played at least feels more polished than this game. And Call of Duty at least stays true to itself. Battlefield just tries to copy other games, apparently. I don't know. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. If you guys are new here, hit that subscribe button and hit the bell for notifications. And that is going to do it for me, everyone. And I will talk to you all next time.